Imagine buying your dream home, a quiet street, perfect yard, the kind of neighborhood where nothing ever happens. And before you even move in, you get a letter. Not a welcome note, not a complaint, but a warning that basically says, I've been watching you. Tonight, we're talking about one of the most unsettling real-life cases in modern true crime. Not a murder, not a break-in, but something that might feel a little worse. This is the true story of 657 Boulevard and the person who called themselves the Watcher.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. I'm Landrey.
And I'm Shae.
And this sounds disgusting. That sounds horrifying.
I told her what to name the episode, and she goes, oh, I don't think I'm going to like this. And I said, no, you won't.
Immediately. Does not help that I am looking for homes to buy right now, and I already am having such a hard time because I'm like, well, I feel safe. I'm like the house I'm in right now. I feel safe. I don't feel like I'm being like watched. I don't feel creeped out. I'm like, I don't want to buy a house. I need to buy a house.
Yeah.
Don't want
to.
Not even a little bit.
I was thinking of what we needed to talk about in the beginning of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I feel like I should mention. I was thinking about what we needed to talk about at the beginning of this episode. And I was like, oh, this might be interesting. Not that a lot of people might care, but I think it's cool that Landry and I got invited specifically to be a part of the Historical Society for a meeting this month in February.
Yeah.
For our town.
Yeah. My mom was like, and why? And I was like, they do ghost tours and ghost stories and stuff also. And she was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So somebody reached out to us and was like, hey, we want you guys to come to our meeting this month and talk to us about like what you guys do. And I was like, well, we just like podcast, but we want to do more things. Like if you guys can get us into maybe some haunted spots or, you know, get us some lore and get us in some stuff. So yeah, I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, because we have a ton of houses in our city that we live in that are like the historical houses that have placards and everything are protected.
Right.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
So I bet those are all got some stuff going on.
Yeah. I know that they all have stories. One of the ladies that's on the committee, like on the society, she wrote a book of like haunted Weatherford.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need to get in on that.
Yeah. So I had mentioned that to her and she was like, oh yeah, we can definitely probably.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I know.
We're moving up in the world.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to try and be there that day. It just depends on life that day. But.
Yeah. Well, either way, the podcast got invited to do something cool.
Yeah. We're like moving up in the world.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool, like being like for serious.
Yeah.
Because we started this like for fun, just because we both like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's actually like turning into something. And we're like, oh.
Yeah.
People like us.
What?
Except for there's some that don't.
What are you doing here? Yeah, there is. But you know what? They're still here.
It's fine.
You'll watch us and talk shit about us if you want to, but I'm still going to get your view.
You're still spreading the word, my guy.
Amen. Anyways. So back to this case that we're going to be talking about today.
No, we can talk about anything else. Anything else. I was doing really good at keeping you distracted from that. The Watcher.
You were like, oh, yeah, get back.
I almost had us there. It's like whenever I had one science teacher. And the best way to not have to do science that day was to ask her a life story.
Oh.
And you didn't have to do science. Miss Patterson.
You didn't have to do science
that day. You didn't have to do science the rest of the class period.
I didn't get away from that.
We learned it very quickly.
So, what do you think about this so far?
I just imagine eyeballs at every window.
Yeah.
Just literally like an eye, like when you go to peek outside your window and then all of a sudden there's another pair of eyeballs that are looking back at you.
Yours?
Yeah.
So there is a Netflix show called The Watcher that came out a couple of years ago that was very, very popular.
Mm-hmm.
It is loosely inspired by this case.
Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge is the like realtor or something in that.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it. But it's very dramatized compared to like the true story and things like that. Although this story itself is still very unsettling and spooky and very, very interesting and weird to me.
Yeah.
That also has another branch off of it that I'm probably going to do in another episode. I was going to do it all together, but then I was like,
They don't all.
yeah. So, very cool. Anyways, we're talking about the documented case that happened in Westfield, New Jersey in 2014 is when it started.
Whoa, way too like modern. Way too close.
Way too close to home.
Yeah, that makes it way too like available.
But as I mentioned, there's this Netflix show that's so dramatized. It's like one of those things where like people were going to Westfield to like see the home and see the house because the show was so like crazy and popular. And like they were like interviewing people and saying like, you know, how do you feel about the way that this show is portraying your like community and your neighborhood? Like it's making you guys all seem like murderous, crazy psychopaths. And like the neighbors are like, yeah, that's just not how it is here. Like,
yeah, whatever.
You know, this piece of it did happen. And it is a true story, but like the extra murder and crime and all of that stuff is like not part of it. So the neighborhood has been annoyed by the popularity of the case, but for good reason it has popularity. So Westfield, New Jersey is like this little suburban town that like every Steven Spielberg movie is like this perfect little cute little homes, and they're not little, they're big houses, nice yards, beautiful trees, you know, foliage, like just straight road, what you would like
ideal.
Yeah. What you see in a movie or what you see in a sitcom like type neighborhood.
Yeah.
So nothing really goes on in these towns. It's quiet, it's chill, suburban. The neighbors are friends, yada yada. 657 Boulevard is the home where this all takes place. And it is this large historic home that was built in the early 1900s. It's a Dutch colonial style. It's got like this really pretty like light blue paint and like white trim and big bushes in the front, big trees, beautiful grass. Gorgeous, gorgeous home. It's like 6 bedrooms, 3.5 bath. Just, you know, run of the mill, beautiful home.
Yeah.
Sits on a clean tree-lined street in Westfield. People like retire here. People want to raise their families here. Like it's just one of those communities.
Yeah.
Like this is where people want to be. So in June of 2014, this house was purchased by the Broadus couple, Derek Broadus and Maria Broadus. And they have 3 children, younger children, probably like 6 and under. They paid roughly $1.3 to $1.4 million for this home in 2014.
Dang.
And this was like their forever home.
Yeah.
Their the husband Derek had recently gotten like this great new position at his job, and they were doing really well and wanted to buy their forever home, and this was going to be it. They purchased the home and they haven't moved in yet, and they're kind of starting to like get their feel of the place and decide what renovations they're going to do, blah blah blah. And they receive their first letter. And I'm going to read you what the letter says.
No.
My mom just texted me and she said, by the way, there's weird shit going on today at my house.
Mother.
I don't know what that means.
Mama.
Anyways.
Ooh.
Let me ask her.
I was say what? Ooh, she just bought a new house too.
Mm-hmm.
Yucky.
Yucky. Okay, so here's what the first letter says. Dearest neighbor at 657 Boulevard. Allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched it in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out. Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family? Or was it greed to bring me your children? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me. I see already that you have flooded 657 Boulevard with contractors. so that you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Bad move. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy. Signed, the Watcher.
No. Children immediately? Immediately go for the children. Eat my ass, we're out. Out.
We're out. So Derek is the one who receives this letter. He's at the house, like in the afternoon. He's like painting and like doing things. And he gets this letter. This house in the front has these big, huge windows. You can see everything. And he's reading the mail. He reads this letter and he's like, what the hell? What the hell? Shuts all the curtains, like turns off all the lights so that nobody can like see him from outside. Because he's like, what? You get to the end and you're like, the Watcher, hello? What? Who? Somebody's watching me right now, you know? And so he calls the police. And the police show up and basically all they can do is take a report. He's like, we can't do anything with this, but we'll take your report and, just good luck. Keep us updated if anything happens.
Ugh.
Let's break down the letter a little bit. So inside in the first letter, the writer is welcoming the family to the neighborhood. And it seems normal at first and then immediately crosses a line, talking about how the house has been watched for generations. And the writer is responsible for watching this house. Like, what does that even mean?
You brought me new blood.
Right. Young blood. Like, that's creepy. And then, like, as the reader, knowing that you are currently probably being watched, how that makes you feel.
Get in car, leave, never go back.
Terrifying. Like, that these people know, this person, whoever this is, knows that you have children. That's terrifying. So they were scared, but they also were like, well, maybe this isn't serious. Maybe this is somebody just being weird, whatever. It comes out later that the previous owners of the home lived there for like 20 years or something. They lived there for a while. They were an older couple. They had never received a letter until soon as they were getting ready to move. They received a letter that was addressed to them. It was handwritten, but they didn't open it. They didn't read it. They just thought nothing of it. Whatever. They threw it away. So it was gone forever. But they admitted that, yeah, they got a letter, but it was just one letter.
Did they have children? I wonder if it's like a thing that has to do with like if you have kids.
Maybe.
In the home.
I don't think so. I don't think they did. They were like, if they did, they didn't live there. They probably did at one point. I mean, it's a 6-bedroom house,
Ugh.
So anyways, they move on with their life. And they still, just mind you, throughout this time that they still haven't moved in yet. They're renovating and doing all these things. So another letter shows up over the next few weeks. There's a couple more. I think there's like 4 total. The second letter that arrives reads like this. 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It's been years and years since the young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement? Or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you will never hear them scream. Will they sleep in the attic? Or will you all sleep on the second floor? Who has the bedroom facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It will help me to know who is in which bedroom. Then I can plan better. All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the Watcher, and I have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Woods family turned it over to you. It was their time to move on and kindly sold it when I asked them to. Which is the name of the family who owned it before. I pass by many times a day. 657 Boulevard is my job, my life, my obsession. And now you are too, Broadus family. Welcome to the product of your greed. Greed is what brought the past 3 families to 657 Boulevard, and now it has brought you to me. Have a happy moving in day. You know I will be watching.
Why are they still moving in?
They haven't yet, to be fair. They haven't yet. But they clearly start to become, these letters are becoming more personal. They're more specific, a little bit more threatening. The writer starts asking questions in here like, who has what rooms? Why are you not here all the time? the letters referring to the children as young blood is too much for me and suggested that the house needs them. So maybe that is why the Woods family didn't receive any letters.
Yeah.
Because maybe their kids were all grown and out, but why wouldn't they have gotten letters before? You know, like while they did have children?
Maybe they didn't throw them away like the other ones.
Yeah, they just didn't think anything of it. But it's very possessive.
And I walk by every day like, okay, who are you? Where?
Yeah, who are you?
Immediately, I am looking at the oldest people in the neighborhood, not like age-wise, but like who has lived here the longest. I am looking up court records.
So at this point, when they get the second letter, they obviously go back to the police and they're like, hey, we got another letter. This is what it says this time. And they get in touch with one of the police chiefs there. And the police chief says, do not mention these letters to anybody in the neighborhood because you don't know who this could be. This could be one of your neighbors. I mean, literally. So
what it sounds like.
So don't say that this is what's going on because you don't really know who to, like, you need to be completely normal and act completely normal. So they are freaked out. They're not staying in the home. They're still staying at their old house. But going back and forth during the days and things and trying to be normal. They're still renovating. They're still moving their stuff in slowly. At one point, I think it said that they like invite some of the neighbors over to come in and like see the house and like just be a part of the community, even though they didn't really want to be. They were just trying to like be normal.
Yeah.
So that whoever this person was, they weren't like feeding into the fear that they were scared of them, you know? Around this time, when they've gotten these first two letters, the police analyze handwriting, wording, and envelopes. So they're basically just analyzing this piece of paper that they have because that's all they have. And at one point, there was DNA recovered from one of the letters. And there were no fingerprints. There was no like surveillance camera footage of anybody. There was never any forced entry into the home. Nobody wasn't breaking in. But this DNA that they have gotten was very degraded and didn't match anybody conclusively. But it was female DNA. And there was this family, and I believe they were their last name was Langford. And the mother her name was Peggy. She was like in her 90s. And I think it was said that they lived like catty corner to this house. And there was like 6 or 7 children that she had that all lived in that house well into their 60s and 70s.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
So the ages like make sense.
How do you pass down to your kid, hey, by the way, we watch this house and we terrorize the people who live there.
And we're really creepy. Right.
It's your job now.
Right. So one of the people that they did handwriting on was they do the handwriting like match thing with one of the older sons from the Langford family. And I think his name was like Mike or Martin or something. And it doesn't match. But there's another sibling from that family who's a female, who was a real estate agent. So it also fits the bill.
Yeah.
The DNA did not match conclusively to Peggy Langford, which was the mom. So they were kind of just like, well, I don't know, but they make the most sense, really.
Yeah.
But anyways, the police start investigating the neighbors, which is the Langford family, and then some other people's. There was none of the other neighbors matched the handwriting testing. The DNA, like I said, the DNA never matched anybody. Other theories were like disgruntled former owner, but the people who owned it before the Broadus family lived there for many, many years, and they sold the house and moved away. Like, there was somebody who maybe was just obsessed with this house, but who are they? We don't know. But somebody has to know like the intimate knowledge of the inside of this house, the layout of this house.
Yeah, to say like the basement's far away and the attic.
There's a room in the front. Like, who's going to have that front window room?
Yeah.
Which is why, to me, the real estate agent, family member of Peggy, this 96-year-old woman.
It makes sense. She'd been in the home.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. That whole thing is weird.
But even if the people who lived there before, or like depending on how long they've been watched, which they said the house has been watched for years and years and years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if like someone in the neighborhood, their kids made friends with the people who lived in that house. So like as kids, they got to go in the house playing with them as kids.
Oh, yeah.
And then they grow up and they have knowledge on it. And then they have kids and then their kids go play with the kids who live in the house now. And so they get to repeat the cycle of knowing what the inside of the house is like by playing with the children.
True.
Maybe.
But where did this begin?
Yeah. Why?
You know, why did this start? Who started this? Like, was their great grandfather a freaking weirdo,
schizo?
like stalker?
Oh.
And they just passed it down and the family's like, oh yeah, this is normal. This is totally normal. Everybody does this.
That or it's one of the sacrifice houses, like how people, like there would be small towns and like we have to sacrifice someone to make the town happy.
Mm-hmm. Like Monster House?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
Animated film.
Hey, that movie scared the hell out of me.
That movie was scary.
The hallway tongue or the hallway rug coming out as a tongue.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeet. So at one point, even during the investigation, the police thought, well, this is probably just a bunch of bullshit. This is a hoax. This isn't real. And who knows? Maybe you guys are writing these letters, you know? And this family was like traumatized by this.
Rightfully so.
Right? They spent a large chunk of money on this home and they don't even get to move into it. And they're terrified because your children can't play outside in the front yard. Mom won't let them. They keep the windows closed all the times, like the blinds, if they are there. But most of the time they're staying at their other house, but trying to keep it like not known that they're staying at this other house. But now they have 2 mortgages, you know, like this is terrorizing. And now the police are like, well, maybe it's you. So obviously the family never fully move into this home because they can't. They can't.
At least they're smart.
It did install cameras, never caught anybody. They hired private investigators that they were also paying for. And they stopped their renovation plans to try to keep from pissing off this watcher person. And they were just constantly in anxiety. And the letters were still coming. Like they had like 3 more letters come. And the wife said that they were just in constant anxiety, always looking out the windows, always checking their mail, keeping their children right next to them at all times because they never know. They didn't want to sell the house because of obvious reasons. It was expensive. This was going to be their home. This was their dream home.
Yeah.
But they had no choice. So they tried to sell the home for many years. And they were unsuccessful because they had to disclose what was going on. And every time like this was found out about, but also the whole community knew this was going on. This was a huge investigation at the time. Like everybody knew what was happening eventually. And nobody wanted to buy this house because they didn't want to have to deal with this. Before the house sells, there are, 2 more letters that come.
Jeez.
Okay. So this is the 3rd letter. And it says, 657 Boulevard is turning on me. It's coming after me. I don't understand why. What spell did you cast on it? It used to be my friend, and now it is my enemy. I am in charge of 657 Boulevard. It is not in charge of me. I will fend off its bad things and wait for it to become good again. It will not punish me. I will rise again. I will be patient and wait for this to pass, and for you to bring the young blood back to me. 657 Boulevard needs young blood. It needs you. Come back. Let the young blood play again like I once did. Let the young blood sleep in 657 Boulevard. Stop changing it and let it alone.
Like I once did. Neighbor kid.
Yeah.
That's how they get the layout.
Yeah, your theory actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, that's the only thing I can think, because if it's like it's a family-friendly neighborhood, is like that's how you would get in easy, is to be friends with the kids over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like
just generations of that is crazy
and that's
to think
how you
about.
pass it on. But I wonder if it's like got some spirits in it, and that's what the problem is. The spirits need the young kids like for revitalization.
But like, what are they gaining from this, you know?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's like a curse on the family.
Maybe.
So like it comes after them if it's not getting enough of what it needs from the families living there.
That's true. Well, and their mom's 90 in her late 90s. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe it is sacrificial. You know, like maybe there is a spell on this house.
Gross.
Crazy theories, man. Crazy theories.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to stay where I live.
I'm not moving.
I'm never moving ever again.
So the fourth letter is, you wonder who the watcher is. Turn around, idiots. Maybe you even spoke to me, one of the so-called neighbors who has no idea who the watcher could be. Or maybe you do know and are too scared to tell anyone. Good move. I walked by the news trucks when they took over my neighborhood and mocked me. I watched as you watched from the dark house in an attempt to find me. Telescopes and binoculars are wonderful inventions. 657 Boulevard survived your attempted assault and stood strong with its army of supporters barricading its gates. My soldiers of the boulevard followed my orders to a T. They carried out their mission and saved the soul of 657 Boulevard with my orders. All hail the Watcher.
Who are his soldiers?
I don't know.
Is it like a whole entire neighborhood put together?
Maybe the whole neighborhood's in on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Disgusting.
It's so terrifying.
At least the family had the wits to not move in.
Correct.
You know, when people would be like,
meh,
like I
screw
think
it.
my husband would be one of the ones that opens the letter and he's like, what are they going to do?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they didn't want to, but they did. And after years of not being able to sell it, they finally put it up for rent and they were able to have like some renters for a little while. But eventually when it did sell, they took a massive loss on that house. I think they ended up selling it in 2017. And they lost like $500,000.
You know, there was someone who was like, but now there's got to be someone who'd be like dying to move into that house for like good cost.
Mm-hmm.
Like paranormal teams and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like how people would just go buy the asylums and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be, after the show with the right crowd.
Oh, for sure. Yes, absolutely.
They're probably like, if we could have held out a little bit longer.
Yeah, just a little bit longer. Well, who knows? Maybe the people who live there now, like when they moved in, no letters. Mm-hmm. So
I wonder if it's based off of the family. Like if they were like, I don't like these people. Let's get them out of here. We don't want them in our neighborhood.
But people don't know, like the people who own it now, like aren't known. And that's because the community doesn't want them to be known because they don't want this to like continue basically.
Yeah.
So like they try to give that family, the current family, like their privacy, you know?
Yeah, but I wonder if it is the whole neighborhood together and they like these people. What if they didn't like the people that were trying to move in and they liked the woods and that's why they never messed with the woods?
Yeah.
But maybe they didn't like the people that came in and the first thing they had was renovation trucks rather than just moving into the neighborhood and wanting to like just be part of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Or maybe they weren't friendly if they like did a lot of like neighborhood like walk arounds and maybe those people weren't friendly. I don't know. I'm just throwing out suggestions. Like maybe it was a whole neighborhood being like, we don't want them
We
here.
don't like you.
Yeah.
Well, this family moves in and there's a little bit of a timeline that matches up as well. Again, with the Langfords. Not quite exact, but a few years. So they move in like 2017, 2018. Peggy and the son, the oldest son that I was talking about earlier, they both passed away in 2020. So either maybe they got too old or they were in bad health for those couple of years leading up to 2020.
Yeah.
And that's why the letters stopped coming. If it was them,
Yeah.
you know, like what? So the last letter that they sent to the Broadus family before they officially sold it was kind of like a threat of if you don't leave or if you're going to continue to renovate this house or whatever. It was kind of like this like warning of like, this is what's going to happen to you. But it's like a very broad, like literally anything bad that could happen to anybody. It says, it just says maybe a car accident, maybe a fire, maybe something as simple as mild illness that never seems to go away, but makes you feel sick day after day after day after day after day. Maybe the mysterious death of a pet. Loved ones suddenly die. Planes and cars and bicycles crash. Bones break. And that's all it says. So it's like this, like,
sounds like
literally anything that could happen to anybody. They're saying, this is what's going to happen to you.
It's the neighborhood and they're like, don't come in and renovate your home. You're going to make our tax prices go up. Get out of here.
Don't do it. We're going to scare you away. But most of the like leading theories is like, it's got to be somebody with direct view of the house, being able to watch the coming and going of things, being able to see the people in the windows, like being to say like, oh, I'm tracking you like as you're walking through your house. A former owner, of course, they're going to look into that. It could be more than one person. You know, a bunch of people could just be sending in crazy shit once they catch wind of this, you know, or somebody who was a contractor or somebody who had access to their reno plans, you know, but there's no answer at all, even still to this day. When they sold the house finally, because initially they closed the case, they put the house up for sale. It wouldn't sell. They opened the case up again to see if they could catch whoever it was that was doing this. And it sold and they closed the case again because they couldn't catch anybody. They couldn't match anybody to this.
Yeah.
So like, what the hell?
I think it was like either the whole neighborhood together, genuinely, or a few of the neighborhood people together, and they just didn't like the family that was moving in or how they were treating the house, like changing it up. They didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone, who was obsessed and was like always wanted to buy the house but never could or something.
Yeah, maybe.
And then, but someone who lived in the neighborhood
crazy.
and like wanted it. But I want to know if it's how it's like we've been watching it for decades and decades and decades. What about any of the other families? Did any of the other families get letters and like for decades and decades and decades? Like the
why
Woods,
didn't they?
I said the Woods said one, but like
yeah. But even if like
them.
Maybe this generation of watcher decided to try this new thing and he was just a weirdo, or she, it was female DNA on the letter. So I guess I should say she.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's weird. Like, how is it not able to be tracked? I don't know, because it's snail mail. I don't know how you don't track, especially 2014. Yeah.
Like how you can't.
Yeah. It's not some far away like thing that was happening.
How odd.
Mm-hmm. Super creepy.
Yeah.
Super unsettling. There's no like physical harm to these people. There was no like direct threat to them, like actually saying like, oh, I'm going to kill you or my plan is to kill you. But they were so fixated on the children.
They made it sound like the house would literally like swallow the children whole.
Yeah.
Or like there was like secret, in my opinion, it made me think of like secret doors throughout the house where the kids would get like taken or something.
So that's where I got into this, because I was researching things to do. And one of the things that I had stumbled upon, I saw a thing on Facebook the other night of this lady who found a secret door behind the drywall of her house, like bricked in. And it freaked her out. There wasn't really like a point to the story. So I was like, that's so weird. So I started like looking up like weird things people find in their homes, like creepy things that you find in your homes, in the walls and the floors, like whatever, during renos and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was going to do like a little compilation of that. Well, I saw one of the stories that I had found was like somebody who found some letters in their house. And so I was trying to find articles on that, and none of the articles had anything like concrete, like of letters, like what the letters said, things like that. So I was like, okay, well, let me find a specific case maybe for that. And then I found this one and I was like, oh,
gross.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
That's creepy. And then there's another thing that's tied into that town, Westfield. That's another whole story.
Public episode.
Uh-huh.
I have seen,
and so I was like, I'm going to just do it and
get
it out there.
That's so creepy. I remember when it came out on Netflix, I watched like the first episode and didn't get past it because it creeped me out. But I have seen, there was a post and it was where someone had found a crawl space in their house. And then when you crawled through into it, it was like a little room that had like a little bed in it and like a bunch of like kids' toys in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, was that actually just like where a kid wanted to hang out and it was like a fun secret room, or were they locked in there?
Yeah. There were some creepy places that I had found when I was researching this topic. There was one person who found they were feeling a draft in their like lower level, and the house did not have a basement, but they like felt this draft. Like on the plans of the house, there's no basement. They're feeling this draft and they're like, where's this coming from? So they start like tracking the air, and they find this little section underneath the floorboards where this air is coming out, and they rip the floorboards up, and there's a trap door that goes down into another level there's nothing down there. There was a mattress and there was like bolts, like where you would put like a chain or something in the floor.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. That was not on any like specific.
And this is why
plan.
I think people are fucking falling out of my attic whenever it storms.
I know. That's why when you were telling that story, I was like, oh no.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
How horrible. I have to build my own house. To be fair, Aaron and I, like, we've always talked about building our own house, and I've always talked about secret rooms and secret hallways and stuff like that, like emergency escape plans and secret areas. So like there's going to be people who eventually buy my house one day that I build, and they're going to be like, this girl was harboring children. They're going to think the same thing about my house, but mine's just all safety and escape routes that I want to have. But I also
plan.
Yes, but I also want to have a cool house where my kids can go have like a secret fun hangout room in the house. Like I've always thought that was cool, like secret rooms that kids could go have fun in. I've always thought that was cool. So my house is going to have stuff like that too. Eventually when I build a house one day, and they're going to be like, she was a weirdo. She was hiding her children.
She was logging her children down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff that people have come across. There's actually apparently a like secret room in the like down like basement in our hospital.
No.
Where like one of the old security officers who's worked there for a really long time has told the story to a bunch of people, where it's like you go into this like small door and it's just this room, and then there's just a chair in there. There's just like one singular like old wooden chair and like chains on the ground. And I'm like, I need you to take me there immediately.
Reminds me of the SpongeBob episode where Squidward's like, no. I don't even know if he's the one who says no. I can just see his mouth.
Yes.
And I'm like, ugh.
But yeah, I thought that was really creepy and kind of light, but scary, and
it creeps me out because I leave my windows open a lot.
Well, don't do that.
Every single day I open my blinds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that knowing that somebody could see me from the street. Even if they weren't trying to look, if they weren't trying to be creepers.
Well, I did it the other day, and I had the blinds open, and then I went and took a nap, and I woke up and it was dark outside, and I was like, oh, people have been able to see inside. And I had like the kitchen light on, and my TV was on. I'm like, oh, people have been able to see inside my house since it got dark outside.
Yeah. No.
All my doors are normally locked. Or I left my house yesterday and came home last night, and I was like, oh, my front door was unlocked this whole time.
Good.
So I did a good sweep.
So you had to do a sweep.
Did a sweep.
Yeah. Should I read the live listener story that my mom just sent me, apparently?
Did you already read it a little bit?
A little bit.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Okay.
Because she just moved into this house. She's been there for like a month, 2 months, maybe?
Since about right before Christmas.
Cool.
They moved in. Oh, no, they've been there longer. They were there for Thanksgiving. Anyway, they've been there for a few months, but it's new. So my mom texted me and she said, there's some weird shit going on in my house today. And I said, please elaborate. And she said, so we did have a fire burning yesterday in the living room. By the evening, it had went out, so we decided to move to the media room. We even both said, okay, since there's no fire to enjoy, we can move into the movie room and watch a good movie. I got up at 7 a.m. and came into the kitchen to get a water and go to the bathroom in the powder bath. Again, no fire in the fireplace. Then this morning, when we both got up around 11 a.m. and came into the kitchen to start making breakfast for the dogs and us, we had been in the kitchen for 30 to 45 minutes doing stuff around the house. I was walking back to my bedroom to do something, and I stopped because there was a fire. And I asked Mark, did you start a fire? And he said, no, why? I said, look, there's a fire. He walked in the living room and even goes, what the fuck? He goes, I've never been so weirded out and perplexed about something ever. Then we discussed how we both remembered the fire being done last night, so we had finally went to the media room. That was the whole reason that they went to the media room, because the fire was out in the living room. She said, then just now, right before I text you, something else happened that scared the F out of me. Mark was standing by my drawer where the kitchen egg bowl is in the kitchen. My mom's kitchen, she's at this big island, and it's a big kitchen, and the sink's over here with the countertop where the eggs are, and it faces out towards the back porch. He's standing by the chicken egg bowl and in the kitchen, and I had my back turned away from him, but was in front of the island in the middle by the stove, which is like probably 10, 15 feet, probably, standing by the stove. Something walked past me and placed their hand on my back, and I literally felt it. And I turned around and I saw Mark was messing with the cords over by the eggs. And I said, "Did you just touch my back?" And he said, "No, I'm over here." But I felt a hand on my back, and it gave me immediate chills.
Move.
She said, "I don't know. WTF."
She still has her other house. She can still go back. She lived in the other house safely for the last 15 years. Go back. Landry said leave.
Landry said, you still have time to move back to the old house.
That's like your mom is literally in the same situation, except not watch her.
That's weird. The fire thing?
Yeah. Was there still coals and stuff though? Like, could it have just been
I don't know.
Like, if the coals stayed warm, could it like just get a little bit more oxygen and restart?
Probably. But that's weird.
Feeling like she got touched is not.
Feeling that she was touched is not okay. And my mom is not like, I don't want to say like not open to things, but she doesn't seek out those. Like, she's not going to say that something happened if it didn't.
No, and she was never the one interested in Gus like Honey was. Like, Honey was always the one that was like, Gus this, Gus that. Your mom was like, nah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Like, she had experiences, and she still didn't tell us those until now when we have the podcast. So.
Right. Yeah. That's spooky.
Well, does Mark never experience anything? I know he's the one who's home more.
Mm-mm. Well,
he's up all night, and he's awake all night.
That's not true. He did experience stuff sometimes at the old house.
Like,
he's had stuff happen to him before.
I know their closet was doing weird stuff.
The closet, the stove would turn on at that house sometimes, which is what Gus used to do.
Yeah.
And then one time they were asleep in the master bedroom, and in the living room, the TV and the surround sound turned on, and everything was on full blast. And that's two different receivers and two different remotes. And it just came on out of nowhere, full blast.
Loud as hell. Mm-hmm. Hell no. That's paranormal activity.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't even just a ghost.
Yeah, so which one? Who's it following?
Ooh.
You know?
Ooh.
Who's got the attachment?
Tell her to get her rosary.
Yee.
It's that bitch coming out of that picture. The big picture.
Oh, the senorita?
She's coming out. It's her.
She said, "Oh, I like it here.
I like this house.
I like this house."
She's been in every house that we've had the most experiences in, so.
That's very, very true. She has.
Get her on out of here.
Yeah, time to go.
Oh my God.
You've had your time, girl.
Your mom is not going to sleep tonight.
That's weird, dude.
Your mom is not going to sleep tonight.
No, she probably won't.
Not even a little bit. We should go over there and go ghost investigate.
We should go ghost hunt. All right, guys. Well, we have to go.
It's only 8 minutes away.
Just follow us at Sisters of the Strange. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We do want to do some fun stuff like that, but
yeah, we've been talking about venturing out. I know we've been talking about that for a while now, but I
think we're capable.
I think it's time.
I think we figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, I figured out like how to vlog outside of a house, so I think we could do it.
Yeah, I think we could too. And we're gonna have the historical society behind us, so
yeah, that'll be so cool. Hopefully we can do some episodes in some cool places, like record in some cool places, maybe something like that.
Maybe somebody will let us spend the night in their haunted house.
I don't know about that.
You gotta go all in.
There's no sleep. You're gonna fall asleep, and I'm gonna be like,
first of all, would you guys watch us if we did an overnight like ghost tour on YouTube?
Yeah,
be honest.
Do not make me go stay the night somewhere and then
for
not watch
nothing.
Me.
Yeah,
I have zero interest in that. Not for no benefit.
Not for no benefit. But if you guys want us to do it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like, I don't know how to protect myself. Assault gun. What is it? Like, what do you do?
Gun. I don't know. It'll be fun. I don't know. Let us know what you think about that.
Yeah.
But keep sending us your stories to our email at sistersofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com. We just did a listener story. We got to build back up. I know we still have some from prior months that we're going to go back through. And we'll do another one. It seems like we typically do one about once a month, maybe twice a month. So maybe we do one at the beginning of the month and the end of a month.
Whatever works
just
out.
To stay caught up with it.
Yeah.
Because we have been getting a lot. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all of the things, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and join our Discord. It's completely free. So we hang out in there. We text, we send memes, we do all the fun stuff. So continue to join our community.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It is really cool.
and feels so crazy and not real. So cool.
Part of me is like excited that we're continuing, like we're actively growing. Like every day, things have just been getting better and better and better. But I'm sad to think that there might be a day where we won't be able to
be so interactive,
to reply to every single comment like we do now.
Yeah, because that's even was one of our emails that we got was thank you so much and I think that was all that their email was saying thank you for responding to our comment or no, they had a story. I just didn't read that one yet. Like I didn't read it fully. I read that part and then I unmarked it to read again later. But they even said like thank you so much for responding to comments. So many content creators don't respond to comments, and we really try.
We know.
Yeah, I'm like we try and get through it, and like there's a lot of people who message us on Instagram and they're like, I doubt you're gonna see this, and then like one of us will
psych 1 minute later.
Yeah, we really will respond like right away, and we're like, oh, but hello, and they're like, oh, I'm so surprised you answered. But yeah, there is gonna be a day probably where it's like that, but I think we'll still do our best to like really get in there.
Mm-hmm. I want it to stay that way.
Yeah, I want to have I want to
grow. I want to be big. I want to be big girls. We just a couple of sisters
hanging out,
doing this thing, hanging out. We want to get bigger. We want to grow. We want to get to that point, but also like we're going to try really, really, really hard to continue to be in the space with you guys.
Yeah, on your like with your like on your level too.
Yeah, because we're not. Hello, you should see where we're at right now. But anyways, just a couple of girls being girls.
Just some sisters hanging out.
Thanks for following along. We love you guys.
All fat and sassy.
Getting all fat and sassy. I love when somebody comments and they're like, I love you guys so much. Y'all are the best. You know, it's just so sweet.
It is. There was someone who commented the other day and said, you remind me of Ghosties. We love their dynamic. One of you sounds like Corinne out of Two Girls, One Ghost. And I'm like, that's such a compliment because I've listened to Two Girls, One Ghost when I started dating Aaron 7-8 years ago, however long that was. I listened to them on my drives. I don't listen to them anymore just because with our podcast, I don't want to ever like listen to something that they like an episode they do and then accidentally like overlap it into ours just because I don't want to like almost be like plagiarizing or anything like that. So I really don't listen to any other podcasts now, but I listened to Ghosties before we started too.
Yeah.
And so like I know their dynamic and I like them and I want to listen, but I don't want it to come across like we're like taking content from them or that we like I don't want to accidentally like quote something they said and then it seemed like we're like trying to be them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've stopped listening.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to accidentally come across like that at all.
Yeah. For sure.
But it's such a compliment to like
it really, really is.
To them.
Yeah, y'all just let them know hit us up.
Yeah.
Whenever they're ready.
Whenever they're ready.
We're ready to do an episode whenever they're ready.
I think Ghosties, they're actually in Texas as well.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, I think they're like East Texas maybe.
Wonder if we could get through to them.
Probably with a little bit more growth.
Yeah.
Probably.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So many things. So many thoughts are running through my brain right now.
Same. I get into modes like that and then I have my day job where I'm like, I forget that I have a life outside of this. Yeah. And then I like come back. But
it'd be like that. But anyways,
like that.
That's all we got for this week, I think.
It was a good week of episodes. It's a good week to be back.
Yeah.
Because we're recording, we've been recording like 2 episodes at a time when we come record. And yeah, first time I've seen Shae in 2 weeks.
I know.
If not longer than that.
Yeah. And I feel you've only been here for 3 hours.
I know.
Feels like you've been here for 7.
Yes. Genuinely. After our last episode, I was like, oh, that felt like it was 2 hours. And it was like an hour and 9 minutes. And I was like, that felt like it was a very long time.
Yeah.
Cool. I get to go drive around my house to the Watcher.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay. Hope you're watching.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.